Hello. I haven't uploaded anything public to this channel in a while, and to that, I apologize. A lot of y'all have been around this channel for a long time, have seen me upload a lot of stuff. You've seen me upload a lot of Pokemon content. You've seen me upload a lot of Monster Hunter content. I haven't been uploading just because it's been hard to. I just recently graduated out of college, just got done with figuring things out. Heck, since the last video, I got a job. But I'm not really here to give a status update. No, I'm here to give my thoughts and opinions on something that has been really bothering me as of lately. And it's probably just going to be out of nowhere that I'm uploading the video like this. But I feel like I need to just get it out of my system and have it there and let it be made known. Because, hey, if you're passionate about something, you make a video about it, right? So, Monster Hunter Wilds, the game that was supposed to be Game of the Year, the game that was supposed to be the big 20th anniversary franchise celebration, everything was supposed to be good with it. And as of today, the game has turned into a giant, ball busting, insulting ad for Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I haven't made any videos on this channel about Monster Hunter Wilds. Personally, I just don't do the podcasts anymore. I didn't really see an incentive to do them. But this is different. I feel like I need to actually make a video on this because I am personally sick and tired, and I know a lot of other veterans out there are sick and tired too. So this is a call to action. Well, you could call it a call to action, but what it really is just the analysis of how boneheaded the world slash wild devs are. Yuya Takuda, an analysis of Yoshi P and the Final Fantasy XIV team. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it all out and how I feel about this and why I think the franchise is now yet again in another slump. So, if you were expecting this to be a Rage Gaming video where I'm screaming into my microphone and trying to give you some artificial hype about something that I think is disastrous, I would recommend you probably turn off the video because this is not going to be a very pretty video. This is going to be what I would like to call a verbal evisceration. This is going to be something that I am probably going to be very heated on. I'm going to try to keep it brief. I'm going to try to keep it under 20 minutes. So let's go back to the beginning. Sixth grade year, 2012. I had just booted up Monster Hunter into my PlayStation 2. And I didn't know how I was going to feel at first. The game had a lot of growing pains, and it was really, really intense and difficult. Right analog stick attack, grinding for the most basic items like potions, doing really meaningful or meaningless things that really didn't contribute to the gameplay loop, running into Yayan Kutku for the first time, dying to her over and over and over, finally beating her, then running into the buzzsaw known as Gipsaros shortly after. Monster Hunter 1 was tough. It kicked me around. I didn't like it. But I look back at all those times and I think, man, I want this back. I want Monster Hunter to feel like Monster Hunter again. Now, you're probably wondering why I tell you this. I'm telling you this because right now, Monster Hunter is having an identity crisis. And that is thanks to Yoshi P and Final Fantasy XIV. Who is Yoshi P? Who is this mystical, magical boogeyman who Core Man keeps bringing up? So Yoshi P is a director for Final Fantasy XIV. And he feels the need to come over and collab with Monster Hunter quite frequently and direct control of these collab fights. We got one back in World with Behemoth, and now we're getting another one with Syndrome's robot. I am not going to refer to the Final Fantasy robot by its name. It will be either called the Robot, Syndrome's Robot, or the Clanker. All three of those. So, back when World came out, we got the Final Fantasy XIV crossover, which introduced what I would like to call one of the worst hunts in the entire franchise, which is the Behemoth fight. And in the Behemoth fight, it basically was treated as a MMO RPG raid boss where you had to have a specific team comp and you had to play a specific way and you had to do all these little stupid things to prep for the fight. Nothing that ever feels like anything you would do in a Monster Hunter game. Having all these dumb team comps and mechanics and all these other things that just don't contribute to the gameplay loop whatsoever. That was the Behemoth fight. It was the last update to come out for base world, and it obliterated the in-game loop. So, fast forward a few years later, we're past Rise, we're past World, we're in Title Update 3 right now, and now we have the Clanker. The dumb, stupid robot that doesn't even fit the Monster Hunter aesthetic. Why'd they choose this monster? Because of our boogeyman, Yoshi P. This man, in addition to World's director Yuya Takuda, have decided to desecrate our game by turning it into a overglorified ad for Final Fantasy XIV. And they are doing it again. They are doing it again with the robot. Same problems. The stupid mechanics, the dumb team comps, the DPS checks, all of this other stuff, it's coming back and it's going to be in our faces once again. If you are playing Wilds, you are not avoiding this. It's going to be there. And to act naive and think that, oh, this is it's just something you got to lay down and accept. No, this is not me having a unpopular opinion. This is how most veterans feel, Capcom. A lot of vets do not want another FF collab. We don't want another Behemoth. And you're giving us another Behemoth. So yes, I have anger towards Yoshi P. I have anger towards Yuya Takuda. I have a lot of anger towards these developers and directors who think they know what the fans want and then give us things such as 28 monsters at launch, a game that hardly runs on PC, many things that just nobody asked for. But I go back to the identity of the game and wanting in knowing that MH1 wasn't the best, but I still think that's what we need to go back to. Monster Hunter is not an MMORPG. It is not. If somebody tells you to your face that Monster Hunter is an MMORPG, I want you to not listen to anything else that comes out of their mouth, because not only is that incorrect, down to the factual T, and I'll break down what defines an MMORPG in a second versus an action RPG, but you just shouldn't listen to them. You shouldn't. And this is coming from somebody who graduated with a computer and game design degree. If somebody tells you that an MMORPG is the same as an action RPG, you need to stop listening to them, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they wouldn't know a turn-based one from an action one at that point. That's like trying to compare a turn-based RPG to an action RPG. That's how different these two games are. So if anybody tries to do that, don't listen to them. Like, oh, and if you can be thinking, oh, that seems a little harsh, it's not. You wouldn't listen to somebody if they tried to convince you that an orange was an apple, would you? No, you wouldn't. That's insane. So we go back to this little thing I just mentioned here. What is an MMORPG? An MMORPG is like it can be either based off of an action RPG or a turn-based RPG, but there's certain mechanics in place, such as the constant need for online multiplayer, having very specific grindy, very grindy. Like Monster Hunter is pretty grindy, but when you think of MMORPG, I'm thinking something like you have to pretty much play this game like a career to like stay involved. I think of games like Destiny 2. I think of games like Warframe. I think of WoW. I think of what's another one? Ah, it's on the top of my head. But those are the ones I can think of outright. When I think of games like action RPGs, I think of the Souls series, Dark Souls 1, Souls 2, Souls 3, Elden Ring, Monster Hunter, Kingdom Hearts. If we're going to use Square IPs, let's do that. Kingdom Hearts. Those are what I would consider action RPGs. Those are your games where you have RPG-esque elements, but you have more direct control over your character. It's not a turn-based game. It's not you have to have a super amounts of grind and you things are basically locked behind paywalls, all that other stuff. It's more direct control of the character. Chances are you won't see an ad that appears in your game when playing an ARPG. At least you shouldn't. So now that we have that, this is why I believe that right now Monster Hunter's in trouble. And a lot of it is thanks to this constant collusion with Yoshi P and Final Fantasy XIV. I do not want to play Final Fantasy XIV. I want to play Monster Hunter Wilds. I want to play Monster Hunter. If I wanted to play Final Fantasy XIV, I would play Final Fantasy XIV. I definitely don't want to now. Because that's the only thing this collab update has accomplished, if you want my honest opinion. I want Monster Hunter to be Monster Hunter. I want to go on fights that take, if, by God, take 20 minutes long if they have to. I want to go on fights where it is completely guttural, raw gameplay. I get to break the monster's parts, no health bar. I don't get to see anything. I just, me and the monster. That's what it is. Not these stupid things where you have to summon the emote and use the magical mystical shield to avoid the clanker's dumb lasers and all this other stuff. I want Monster Hunter. I want pure, raw Monster Hunter. Not this pixie Final Fantasy bullcrap. Like I said at the start of this video, this is not going to be a happy-go-lucky, oh, well, this is how I feel about it. Maybe Cap, no, this is me being upfront and brutally honest. You know, I probably wouldn't be so hard on this if not for the fact that we've already been through it. We already got Behemoth back in World. It was a disaster. If anybody excuse me, if anybody tries to tell you that Behemoth was nothing short of an unmitigated disaster, they're wrong. It was awful. And the extreme version was even worse. You got stuck with having to listen to the Final Fantasy XIV lobby music on loop in Astera over and over and over, and you could not turn it off until you beat Behemoth. And now here we go again. They're probably going to do the same thing with the goddamn robot. Probably going to have the stupid lobby music that nobody asked for. It's going to be all in our faces. Basically, imagine this is what it kind of reminds me. Imagine like you go somewhere, right? And that place you go there for nostalgia, but it's like completely different. Like, you used to have a favorite spot in the park that you used to go to, or you used to have a area that made you happy, and then whenever you go back there years later, you come back and find it looks nothing what it used to look like because of outsiders and people who didn't respect your culture or people who didn't respect your values. That's what's going on right now with Monster Hunter and the stupid Final Fantasy XIV collab. I do not like Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter. It does not need to be there. I don't know how many times I have to say that to hammer the point home. I don't know how many times the vets have to say that to hammer the point home because Yuya Takuda does not listen. And the whole, oh well, it's an iconic franchise. Okay, let me break something down for you right here. Final Fantasy VII Integrate and Rebirth were both commercial flops selling 2 million units apiece. That is horrible. I know franchises that currently right now are struggling and fighting for their lives to make even with that, like Metroid. Dread sold 3 million and it still might be thrown in the gutter. So I don't want this, oh, well, it's iconic. I don't want this, oh, well, you just got to accept it happened. No, I'm not going to sit down and like accept something like this happening to this franchise that I grew up playing. It was the franchise, in my opinion, that got me through Pokemon's downfall and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I did not like those two games either. I was like, oh, well, I'll just go play Monster Hunter then. That was fine. I could go and play Monster Hunter and be okay. Now it's like I can't even go and play Monster Hunter now because Monster Hunter is being made for people who aren't Monster Hunter fans. It's being made for Final Fantasy XIV fans. So, no, this isn't good at all. And it's being spearheaded by Wild's director. I mentioned him earlier. Apologies for like the ramble on that one, but that is who Yuya Takuda is. He is the director for Wilds. A lot of this is being spearheaded by him and the Final Fantasy XIV director Yoshi P's just being spearheaded by all of it, and it's not good. I'm not gonna keep you all for too long, and I appreciate like anybody who's stayed here like long enough to at least get my thoughts on this. I'm probably gonna just have some Wilds gameplay going in the background, or maybe Rise gameplay, but it would probably be more fitting to have Wilds. I want to go into it with this closing thought as we're approaching 20 minutes because I didn't want to make it a super long ramble, and this is completely unscripted. Just my like raw emotions, how I feel about it, because I feel it needs to get out there. To the veterans who have had to deal with this type of incompetency since World, know that you're not alone, and you're not in the minority when you think these collab updates are bad for the game and really stupid. You are not alone. I know it's bad, but I think we can get through it. I think that at the end of the day, this is going to come and pass. It's going to suck. I'm not going to be happy about it. I know a lot of other fans aren't going to be happy about it. But I think something needs to be done. And I definitely don't think this is something that should be like applauded or like just glazed over. And this is my last message to, I guess, Final Fantasy XIV fans and people who think this is completely okay and that I'm just being a hater and that I'm being unrealistic. Know that at some point in time, I was more than willing to share the experiences I've had with this franchise that I considered the best franchise in RPGs at one point. No, I was more than happy to have you guys here. But you're trying to turn this game into something it isn't. And I think that's gross. If you want to play FF14, leave us the hell alone and go play FF14. Stop trying to turn our game into your game. That's the big message I have here. I say that to Yoshi P and Takuda, and I say that to any FF14 fan that wants to come and start crap. This has been Coreman. Thank you all for listening to my ramble. You all have a good day.